Harris just ended her trip to the African continent. She visited Ghana, Tanzania, and Zambia. We all know this is the U.S. attempt to mend a relationship, build a relationship with the African continent. This is the first time this year that the U.S. has traveled to the African continent. Jill Biden traveled to the African continent in February, and then the U.S. Treasury Secretary traveled to the African continent in January. So America is trying to get in where they fit in, trying to gain a little leverage over China and Russia, and they're doing everything possible to try to get the African continent onto their side so that they can in turn use the resources that are on the African continent, and so they don't feel like that they are behind China and Russia when it comes to the African continent. So they are just doing whatever they need to do to make sure that they get all that they are wanting to get. So we're going to talk about the highs and the lows of this trip, what went well, what did not go well, and then, you know, what can we expect to see from here on out concerning this new budding relationship between the United States and the African continent. So the high for Kamala Harris is just getting the opportunity to experience these different countries, to experience their cultures and their people and the environment and the atmosphere. That is always something that she's going to remember. That is something that she's going to be able to take back with her, and she's going to be able to she's never going to forget that. So that definitely is a high. And each of these countries welcomed her in a different way. The Ghanaians welcomed her with traditional dance. So I think all three countries actually welcomed her with their own traditional dance. And I think it's important that people see that, so that they can see that, you know, these countries are all different in Africa. And so there's no similarities between them. When you're in one country, you're going to do one thing, and when you go to another country, you're going to do something totally different. In Tanzania, they welcomed her with shirts that they had her face on it, which I thought was just too cute. Now, particularly in Ghana, I think one of the things that was great was that her and her husband both got kente cloth. He actually, her husband, they actually wrapped the kente cloth in the traditional way that the men will wear in Ghana, and then she got a sash, or it looks like a sash, and so it was great that she was able to, her and her husband was able to both to have the kente cloth to take back with them to the United States of America. In Zambia, she actually went to a house where her father stayed. I think it was her father or her grandfather, I can't remember. And she was able to go back there, and I thought that was also good for her to actually be able to still, to have those memories, and for her to experience that as well. So I think there definitely was a high, was her getting that experience of going to these African countries and being around the people, being in the environment, and being able to take that back with her and be able to take those memories back with her. So the lows of the trip. Now, first, the Republicans, we all know that Kamala Harris is Democrat, so it doesn't matter what she does. They're not going to have anything good to say about anything that she does. But one of the things they kept saying is that she has not done very well in the United States of America. Her popularity is not the greatest, and then she's going over here to the countries of these African countries, and then people are welcoming her, showering her with with love, and so they're saying she has to go to another continent to receive love that she can't receive in her own country. And of course, that definitely is a dig at Kamala Harris, and I just think the Republicans are always going to have something nasty to say. It doesn't matter what's going on. If it's not something that a Republican is doing, then they're not going to have anything really good to say about it. There was a couple people, some people in the United States of America, particularly the black people. There were some black people, excuse me, in the United States of America that did not really like this trip. If you look on Twitter, some black people in the United States were definitely expressing how they felt like the United States of America has not done a very good job, or hasn't done anything at all to really bring any type of closure to American slavery slavery as far as apology, acknowledgement, doing something for the Black communities, having police reforms for the violence against Black people. A lot of those issues, a lot of the issues that are still plaguing Black communities in 2023, United States of America is not really doing anything to remedy those problems. Yet the United States of America is going over to the African continent seemingly to mend the relationships. Kamala Harris visited the Elmina Castle, where she got very emotional talking about the slave trade, where she was talking about you know, just the Africans that were enslaved there until they were shipped to various parts of the world, and you know, just talking about how America seems like they're very apologetic for everything that's going on. And when Black people see this, they're saying to themselves, okay, what about us? What about people in the United States of America? Why isn't that same type of compassion and same type of emotion given to the people in Black people in the United States? And so of course they definitely voiced that disdain of Kamala Harris going to these African countries, and America seeming to build relationships with the people of Africa when America has yet to really build a strong relationship with the Black people in the United States of America. And of course, moving on with the low, you do have the people in the African continent that definitely is voicing their disdain about this travel as well, because I think they are able to see the disingenuous nature that America is coming in. Is not very genuine. They are able to see through all the malarkey. They already know why the United States is coming over to the African countries. Is not because all of a sudden they think the African people are important. It does not mean that they ought, you know, they all of a sudden care about the African people. Is what they can gain from the African continent, basically. And so that's the reason why you see them really pushing this forward, trying to get this relationship built so that they can take what they would like to take, and hear me when I say take, from the African continent. And the people in the African countries are saying, you know what, no. Not again. We're not going through that again. And of course the whole LGBTQ, which definitely was threaded into the trip, was something else that the people in African countries are like, you know what, enough is enough. This is our laws, these are our rules. And so either you're going to abide by them or you don't need to come here. And so the people in the African countries are saying, we don't want the West here. We don't want the US here. They're not here for good. They're not going to be respectful of our laws. They're not going to be respectful of our policies. They're not going to be respectful of our leaders and our people. And since that's the case, it's just best if we don't have any relationship with the United States of America. So the people in the African countries are definitely seeing through it all, definitely saw through Kamala Harris, definitely saw through what the United States is trying to do, and they're just like, we're not buying it. So that definitely is a low, is that they didn't do a very good job with trying to make it at least somewhat genuine in order to win over the people on the African continent. So, you know, where does this leave the United States of America? Is there going to be a future for the United States of America and the African countries, African continent? It is to be seen. We really do not know what's going to come of this trip. We don't know how many more trips are going to be taken. Probably as many as necessary to get the relationship kind of started. But you know, only time will tell. All right, you all, so that is my take on the Kamala Harris trip. I am Michelle Mazelleغ. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.